just got all the cups today.
All right, so last time we were working on different types of graphs, and we had left off on our pictograph. Not pictograph, pie graph or pie chart. And we had all this information, which is great, and we're going to put it onto a circle. Now, when you're doing it, I'm not going to be too specific on this, but visually estimate where the center is and put a dot there. Okay, that's as specific as we're going to get with the stuff we do in this class on that. So just put a dot in the visual center of your circle. All right, some things about a protractor to remind you of. I know you guys have used protractors for a reminder. The dot that's in the center of the ones that I gave you, right there, that's where you always line your circle up, the center of your circle up, okay? So it looks like it's like on one side of your protractor, there's sort of an indent inside of the plastic. You guys feel it? You know what I'm talking about? You see that one on the bottom? It's like a cross hatching. That's where you're going to put the center of your circle. So I wish I had a giant protractor, but I don't. So we're going to pretend. So this dot right here is going to go in the center of the circle there. Okay? And then you're going to measure out, and I don't care where you draw it, but I need you to draw one radius from the center out. So use any part of that protractor as a ruler and just draw out a line somewhere. Line segment, actually. Right? So here's your line segment. You're going to put the center of the protractor right there on the center of the circle, and you're going to line this up along one of the two, doesn't matter, it depends on where you draw your radius, one of the two lines that extends from that beveled circle. Okay? So there's actually like a line on your protractor. This line right here. Yeah. So you're going to, well, make your radius first. Yeah. Just halfway so the center on one side. Okay. And then you're going to line this up. Does everybody have the lining up? Do you understand what I mean? Got it. Okay. Get closer to that. Okay. The next thing is that you have two sets of numbers on a protractor. Do you guys see them? Like every angle that's marked on here is marked twice. So like take a look at the one that's marked 70. It's both marked 70 and 110. Do you understand that? And why is that? Well, because from one side of this it measures 70, and if you measure it from the other side it measures 110. Okay, so just make sure that you're being careful on recording and using the right one for the angle that you're supposed to be marking. All right, now let's get back to our actual problem. We need to make sure, because this is data that has sort of a natural ordering to it, that we go in the natural ordering. So I don't care whether we start with A, B, C, or D, but C and A cannot be next to each other. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? C and A, alphabetically, in terms of grades, don't go next to each other. So it doesn't make sense for them to go next to each other in the pie chart. C will be next to B and D. That's where it's going to be. Okay? So we can definitely start with angle A, because it's so nice. 180 degrees is exactly halfway across your circle. So that halfway, or that radius that you just made, turn it into a diameter, and you've got yourself measurement for A. Okay, so you can mark it on here now that this, either the top or the bottom, either way, wherever it is you want your A to be. This is the A values, and with this we have 50% of our data. If you want to put the angle measure 180 degrees on there too, you can. But that's visibly already 180 degrees, because that's what happens when you do the circle. Like that's how you created that angle. So you don't necessarily need it there, but you do need the percentage and the labeling of the letter grade A. Okay? So we're just going to go in order. The next one we're going to do is B. B is 80 degrees. So you need to line up your protractor again. So from what I've done, when my protractor lines up, the bottom, you know, the opposite side of where A is where my protractor now needs to be. I can't do it up here, right? That's not going to measure anything, so it's not going to make any sense. It's going to have to be down here. Again, the dot in the center needs to line up on the dot here and extending out from there along the side. So as I'm doing that then, from this side right here, I'm going to go down till I get to 80 degrees. The first 80, not the second 80. The second 80 is going to be way over here. That's too far. The first 80 is 80 degrees around, okay? So on mine, I'm going to do it the best I can from my screen as well. That wasn't what I wanted to do. Okay, so when I measure mine, I'm going to go out as far as I need to get to that 80 marking. So as far as I need to on this one, might end up looking like you're not even on the circle still. Sorry, I've got this touch thing going on, and if I touch my screen, it's going to move something the way I don't want it to, just like that. Okay, so mine looks like the 80 is occurring right here. So obviously that's not actually on my circle, the way I've drawn that green mark down here, right? But I could connect the green mark up to the black dot, and then I would be in the right place. I don't even know if I did it quite right, but I'm pretty close. So this is the line that I would get if I connected those two together. But of course I want to stop before I get there. I can have the ruler going that far, but I don't really need my whole line to go that far. And if I've drawn it correctly, I don't know why I have that big bold purple thing going on, but that would be angle, the angle that I'm using for my B values. And that one was 80 degrees. It was 22%. And reasonably speaking, that seems pretty good. I mean, that looks like slightly less than 25% of my circle. So visually, I'm pretty close to the right value. And then we're going to do angle C. Angle C is supposed to be 40 degrees. So as we do this one, we're going to line the center of the circle up here, and we're going to line the edge of it along with what I've got as my purple marking right now. Okay? So as I do that, my screen won't go out that far, so I'm going to have to approximate from where I am. So you're not going to be able to see my dot. I'll try to draw it on the inside, actually. Maybe I can do that. My 40 looks like it's about right there. And then I'm going to connect the dots, so to speak. It looks like that's not it. Let me try one more time. Actually, let me just do it without the straight edge. Looks like it's about right there. That's C. And it's supposed to be 11%. Again, does it visually look like it's about half of what angle B was? Pretty close. It's believable. If I were doing it on paper, it'd be a little bit more accurate. And then I don't even have to measure the last one. It is, in fact, the angle for the letter grade D. It is 60 degrees, and it is, what was it, 17%. Again, it looks like it's more than C. It should look like it's slightly less than B, but not by a bunch. I mean, 17%, 22%, they're not substantially different. And this would be your pie chart. Pie chart, circle graph, either way. But we do need one more thing on it. What do we need? We need title. What is the title for this graph? Do you remember? It was grades for I think it was second exam scores. Okay, I'll come over there in just a second. Anyone else having problems with getting theirs to measure right? Okay, cool.